Alright guys, in today's video we have some new PlayStation 5 information to go over and talk about, and I think you guys are going to be pretty interested in everything we go over here today. The first thing we are discussing has to do with the PlayStation 5's price point, and while Sony hasn't revealed the official price point yet, I have some comments here that were made by Jim Ryan that maybe let us know what we can expect or what we should anticipate. And I'm going to tell you right now that if you are someone who is expecting the PlayStation 5 to come in at $400, that's not going to happen. However, it seems like Sony is trying to emphasize the value over the price point, as in if you decide to buy it, it's going to be well worth the money you spend on it. So definitely want to take some time to highlight that. And we're also talking about the PlayStation 5's user interface, and I find this one particularly interesting because we have maybe the most information about the UI that we've gotten so far, or at least we can get the best idea in our head as to what we can expect. The big question is, when we buy a PS5 and we boot it up for the first time, is the UI going to be very similar to what we see now currently with the PlayStation 4, or is it going to be completely different? And we already had confirmation from Mark Cerny a while ago that it will be completely revamped, I think is the way he worded it, but we are getting further confirmation from an individual who's actually working on the UI that yes, it is a 100% overhaul. What makes this doubly interesting in my opinion is we also have confirmation from The Verge's Tom Warren that apparently the Xbox One's dashboard is actually going to move over to the next generation Xbox, and it seems that Microsoft and Sony are taking completely opposite approaches here, so I wanted to be sure to highlight that as well. And finally, we are talking about how customizable the PlayStation 5 is actually going to be, because it turns out that Sony will be able to do more with limited or special editions of the PlayStation 5 console than they were in the past, which is automatically interesting to me. But it almost sounds as if Sony's going to give us more options in some way, shape, or form when it comes to how we can actually customize the console if what this individual is saying turns out to be true. So this is everything we're going to be discussing in today's video. If you could do me a big favor before we go any further, make sure you hit the like button to show your support and help the video out. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as well so you don't miss any future content. But starting here with the price point of the PlayStation 5, PlayStation boss Jim Ryan addressed the PS5 price during a new interview. Right now, the next-gen PlayStation console is available to pre-order for $700, but it's unlikely it will actually cost this much, and I can confirm to you right now the PS5 will be nowhere near $700. That said, on multiple occasions, Sony has suggested the PS5 could be a bit on the expensive side, a suggestion Ryan seemingly echoed during the aforementioned interview. Ryan doesn't disclose the price outright, but frames the conversation in terms of value. According to the PlayStation boss, Sony is less focused on price and more focused on getting the value equation right. What this exactly means is anyone's best guess, but it doesn't sound like the words of a man sitting on a cheap console. Conventional wisdom and history shows that our business is one of the more recession-proof businesses, says Ryan while speaking to BBC, but I think this will sharpen our need to ensure that we focus on getting the value equation right, and I emphasize value as opposed to price. Unfortunately, this is where Ryan stopped. Sony is not ready to talk about the console's price point, and it could be because it's waiting for Microsoft to make the first move. It's also possible that it's sitting on a reveal because it knows it may not go down well, or maybe it's just simply a marketing decision. I want to tell you right now, guys, that I think Jim Ryan and I think Sony at this point has made it pretty clear what we can expect when it comes to the PS5. Now, he's talking about value proposition over price point. What this basically means is that they're trying to show you a bunch of really awesome stuff that makes you go in your head, wow, I really like what I'm seeing. I really want to buy this. So that way, when they reveal a high price point, or what would be perceived as a high price point, that being $499.99, you don't feel so bad about paying for it. Now, anybody who thinks this console is going to be more than $500, listen, I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility. I want to say, though, it's highly, highly unlikely, especially from Sony. Sony has been down this road before with the PlayStation 3.
$599 US, $599 US, $599 US, $599 US.
So if you're expecting them to announce a $600 price point or more, I think you're going to I think you're going to need to reel that in. Now, could you say that maybe they want to make the disc-based version of the PS5 600 and then somehow make the discless digital version 500? Yeah, that's in the realm of possibility. Is it likely? Absolutely not. It's more likely that they're going to go $500 for the disc version and maybe $450 for the discless version. But the reason why Jim Ryan, again, is emphasizing value is not because they want people to feel okay when they announce a $600 or $700 console. It's just not going to be that expensive. I would be stunned, absolutely flabbergasted, if that's actually how much this console is going to be, especially knowing that the Xbox Series X is the more powerful console, and that's most likely also going to come in at $500. So I just wanted to highlight this because, in my opinion, what you should take away from this is right now Sony's focus is on selling you on the PS5 before revealing the price of the PS5 to you. So that way when they do reveal the price, and it is $500, you feel okay about that because you look at what they've shown off and you say, I'll pay however much for this, right? Or, oh, $500, that's fair because what they're showing here looks like it's a great value. Again, this is why they're emphasizing value over talking about a cheap price point or trying to sell you because, oh, look at how cheap this is, right? They want to convey something that is of quality and something that is worth the money you're going to pay for it. Anyway, moving on from that, we are talking about the PlayStation 5's UI. While we'd expect the PlayStation 5's user interface to be an iteration of the PlayStation 4's, it sounds like Sony has started from scratch. Publicly responding to comments on LinkedIn, PlayStation's VP of UX design, Matt McLaurin, revealed that the manufacturer's next-gen system features a, quote, 100% overhaul of the PS4 UI and some very different new concepts, unquote. Chief among these is that it's going to be lightning fast. McLaurin says that the entire UI's performance is being measured in milliseconds across the board, but also that it features a, quote, whole new visual language, unquote. Now that part is important. Visual language is basically what that means is it's going to look very different as well. And that's important to understand because if they wanted to do something similar to the PS4's UI, but also something familiar, then he wouldn't be using this terminology. He wouldn't say that it's a whole new visual language. Visual language is basically him letting you know that it's going to look completely different. He said there are some key new bets that you'll see soon. So what he means by that, I'm assuming there's things that they have tried to take a chance on in terms of, I guess you could say, innovation or things that they changed up dramatically, and they feel as though maybe they're taking a bet on that as to whether it's going to land with gamers, with people, because, you know, when you talk about showing a new UI, it's always the same thing. You're either going to love it or you're not going to stand it, right? You just can't stand what you're seeing. And so by taking some bets here, it sounds like they definitely are doing some things that, you know, are either going to really resonate with people or people are going to walk away being like, I don't like that. So he also says here, very few pixels remain from the PlayStation 4 generation. Again, reiterating that this is a very different UI. The former Apple employee also heaped praise on the PlayStation's marketing team. They are the best in the business, in my opinion. They're comparable to Nest in their prime, but profitable. Brilliant marketing always looks effortless. And I have to agree with him there. I think Sony's doing an absolutely amazing job. Their marketing team is doing an amazing job, and they do make it look effortless and easy. That's how you know they're doing it right. So it doesn't feel forced whatsoever. Now, I think we got our very first glimpse at the PS5 UI with the little boot up. That was just a couple seconds long during the official reveal stream, but that's about it. But guys, I have to tell you, like, this gets me excited, and frankly, I think this is a big win for Sony. Even if maybe the UI isn't as good as people are hoping, and it's probably going to be rough at first because it's, you know, it's going to be the first version. But I'd much rather take this, and this is way more exciting to me than if I just heard Sony was planning on moving the PS4's UI over to the PS5. Like, that's so boring in my opinion, and this just adds to the excitement of this does feel like a true next generation leap, where even though I don't know what this UI is going to look like, even though there may be aspects to it that I can't stand, it's still, at this point in time, extremely exciting to know that I can look forward to something completely new, completely revamped, something that has a whole new visual language, right? That's exciting to me, and so I can't wait to see what this is, but I certainly had to take time to highlight this. Again, Microsoft is doing the opposite approach here, where they're just moving their Xbox One dashboard over to the next generation Xbox. So I want to ask you guys in the comments, leave your comment down below, which do you prefer? Would you prefer the PS4's UI to just be moved over to the PS5, or are you excited at the prospect of a completely new revamped UI? Now, we do have to understand that he could be overselling this a bit. I doubt he is, because he's somebody who's worked on it, but he could be making it sound like it's completely different and, you know, completely mind-blowingly different, but it's actually not. Now, the likelihood of that seems slim based off of his comments, but we do have to understand that. Until we see it, we can't really judge, right? We just have to take his word for it. So, finishing off this video, so speaking on LinkedIn, again, this is the same individual, Matt McLaurin, made comments in response to a question from a fellow user asking about the potential of a matte black finish for the upcoming console. And so the person asked him, can we look forward to a matte black finish? And Matt actually responded with, you will definitely be seeing special editions. This is also customizable in ways previous generations were not. So what he's basically saying here is that the PS5 is in fact going to get special editions. You'll definitely see them. I don't think anybody doubted that, but he also adds that it will be customizable in ways that previous generations were not. Now, he could just be referring to the special editions, saying that Sony could go above and beyond and do things very differently with their special editions that they just literally couldn't do with the PS4 Pro or the PS4 or PS3 and whatnot. But it does sound like he could maybe be hinting at some other type of customization that they could offer. I'm kind of thinking maybe something similar to the faceplates on the Xbox 360, how they were interchangeable. Maybe there's something along those lines with the PS5 that we're just not aware of yet. So we're going to have to wait to see about that, but I wanted to make sure to highlight that because it sounds like we are going to get some really interesting and some really cool special edition consoles, which I frankly cannot wait to see. I think the PlayStation 5 as of right now looks amazing, but thinking about all the different things they could do with it, you know, it just makes it that much more cooler and that much more exciting. So that's going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. If you did, again, be sure to leave the video a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already. Hit the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.